live stream. Lauta, how you
Yes,
feeling?
I'm feeling marvelous after that lovely meal. We just had a wonderful meal. You all get to hear what we had every day on Thursdays, right before.
Yeah.
We don't eat like this every day, but on Thursdays, Tavares blesses us with some of his cooking. So I had a delicious meal today.
So we had a wrap, which had veggie sausage. First off, the wrap is a sprouted wrap, right? So don't get it twisted. None of that tortilla corn stuff over here. And we had this delicious base of garlic paste, mustard, and veggies, followed by the chipotle veggie sausage, which is exclusive.
And unavailable.
It's unavailable. We had to buy some of this wholesale in this large bulk, which we're grateful for. And we had microgreens on there. We had this delicious mustard cashew cheese
Yes,
wedge.
yes.
And what
Those
else we had?
pickles, we had those dill pickles
Dill.
made with the right kind of vinegar,
Yes,
and they tasted like garlic and dill. I had extra ones.
yes, you did. And then we had, what else did we have on the sandwich or this wrap? Uh, Jalapeno hummus,
Yes.
very clean ingredients. And oh, cooked onions, cooked red onions as
Red
well.
onions,
With
yeah.
the yeah, so it was delicious and it was so good. I don't know if you all saw me. I'm sitting here closing my eyes. You ever eat a meal that's so good you go into a meditative state? Somebody let me know if you've ever experienced that. I closed my eyes and just went within. It's like I got to tune everything out. It was
Now,
so good.
usually he eats and goes like this. Yeah, that's good.
That meal moved me into stillness. This was a whole nother level of enjoyment. Like, I gotta be present for this meal. And it was so good. I'm taking Diane's half. Like, all right, so I know we started off talking about food. However, that's not why we're here today. We're going to be talking about the power of living in the truth and exploring that idea and all of its glory. So, welcome everyone. We see a number of you are joining in with us, and I want to just share some updates really quick about what we have going on throughout the month. And we are in a new month of September.
Yes.
Yesterday we had Diane of the Sun in Liquor Studio One with the Call for the Truth Divination card workshop. That was very on point. One of the key things that we focused on was this idea of the necessity for flexibility, and which allows us to remain free. And then we moved into the present, which really speaks to the idea of power and how that power can be gained through authenticity, which is, and oftentimes for me, I find that's synonymous with truth.
It absolutely is.
Being
Absolutely.
authentic is being the truth. So we're really gonna be talking about this because some of y'all be lying in a way where you're not in respect to our authenticity, and it's something. It's trained behavior. You think about when we were little kids and be lying to our parents, hiding stuff. So the future card, though, was, if I recall correctly, was about being able to change the frequency based off of what we're thinking into a more desirable experience, and how that helps us sustain our integrity of our
Right.
power and authenticity. So check her out every first Wednesday of the month. You can tune in for a free group divination card pool, and there's a lot of engagement and activity. This Friday, she has the Evolutionary Book Club. I was about to say Call for the Truth. Evolutionary Book Club, where the topic or the book of focus is Zero Limits. Joe Vitale, Dr. Hugh Lin, Ho'oponopono, Whole Responsibility. So this takes place 6 p.m. And if you're a late, tardy, you know, early bird gets the worm. If you're a little late to the party and you want to still read this book, if you go to our website on the homepage, you'll see the classes and workshops. The link will take you straight to her webpage where there's a free PDF and you can play catch up. So join us 6 p.m. We have light body movement returning back, and we're going to be in
Yes.
the throat chakra truth. Can I get a oh yeah? So I'm looking forward to it because we're moving higher and higher up into the upper centers. And for those who may not be aware, light body movement is a group endeavor that we engage in 4 times out of the month, where we are activating and engaging the energy centers. We're through meditative processes. There are class documents for you to continue to explore the energy centers and the multiplicity and how they reflect in your daily life. Lao Tzu's energy clearing workshops are a part of the Light Body movement, as well as her monthly self healing talk, which is Earth 23. It's going to be
Yes.
on the fourth Sunday of this month, so you can join as well. So that's all part of this subscription bundle, $45 a month if you want to join us. And we're having some real palpable experience. People are like, "Oh, girl, I see your aura. I see your light. I see you looking real biophotonic." So much so, like the freaking softbox light, we had to tune it down one time because technology does interface with it. And I'm sure you can see the glow. It's something that's evident, but this is something that our allies have assisted us with moving through this process. And the reality is that we are light. We need to get with the program, flood yourself with light, allow your light to shine, remove the interferences that are dampening your expression of light so you can really be the truth of who you are. Again,
Like lying,
like a what?
like lying,
Like lying, yeah.
interference.
That stops you. It's a lie that you're not the light. Why are you over here splashing in darkness? Why are you over here lying? You know you're the light. So this methodology does help us do that in a very practical way. So again, if anyone's interested, click the link in the description. It'll take you straight to our website. On the homepage, you'll see all of these things. And lastly, Energy Hygiene 101 class is making its return back. And this is a class that's really focused on assisting you with adopting an energy hygiene lifestyle. Our reality that we live and we have seen to gain power in a pure way where you're not manipulating, lying, and controlling people, it requires cleanliness. And of course, the context of the world that we live in, it requires cleanliness to sustain our elevation. So, again, here at Of a Sun, we are looking to give you the tools that are needed to support you in your growth and evolution. Not where you just keep coming to us for clearings, which we want to clear you, but you got to keep up that maintenance. Come for the deep cleaning and brush your teeth every day and after every meal. That might look like after a phone call, you raise up into the highest possible vibration and start calling your power and your energy back versus letting that chip linger on your shoulder throughout the day, influencing everything else. Because we bring, as the Call for the Truth card says, we bring our self-sabotage with us everywhere we go, as well as the interferences that accumulate. So if you could wash the dishes analogously throughout the day, that'll help keep that mountain of dishes down and the cleanliness, which is next to divinity or godliness. So join us on September 10th, 17th, and 24th, and this is one of the last prerequisites before Quantum Light Property Clearing in October. We're about to pop off in October with this modality of restructuring the energetic architecture in spaces and places, which this is an advanced extension of energy hygiene where you can reinform the field of your environment to support you. You can clear your family members' homes, your neighbors, your neighborhood, which this is the expansion of you are your neighborhood, you are your community. Clear what's around you to really protect yourself through the elevation of the frequency of the environments.
I'd like to share something about
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
The idea of moving into a new, richer, more powerful identity by recognizing that you are the responsible party in your world, your house, your neighbor's house, the next country over, the entire globe. That once you begin to stand up in the reality that you're responsible for nature, you're responsible for the material, you're responsible for the condition of your experience, that this allows you to now have the identity of knowing who you actually are, and who you are is a divine being that is good with the responsibility, and it's not too much for you, that it's appropriate. Like what's in front of us is appropriate for us.
This is bringing to mind the processes with the light body, and as we move up into the higher centers,
Yes.
it's less about self in terms of like the individual, but we realize all is self. My neighborhood is myself. My home is
Yes.
myself. My community, the zip
Right.
code I live in, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to make sure self is correct,
Yes.
or has the best opportunity to thrive and be what it can be And that's what's coming to mind as we move
Yeah.
higher into like 4D, do no harm, and beyond.
And that means to you as the cellular matrix of your body, do no harm to your cells, do no harm to your molecules, do no harm to your body, do no harm to anyone else's body, do no harm to all the other bodies, do no harm to the body you walk upon, do no harm to the body of those who you consume. It's the greater understanding which allows us to have a greater bandwidth for how to change our identity from victims that have been herded into the condition we find ourselves in to the glory and the greatness of who we actually are.
Most certainly.
So it's wonderful. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. That's property clearing, and that's really a nodal point in development to acquire skills and techniques that allow you to channel power that is authentically and divinely yours, that you've been looking for, into opportunities to remove anti-life from spaces and places, which ultimately stops reinforming the people in those places and spaces.
Yeah, I know this isn't necessarily a focus about property clearing, but
But it's the
when I
truth.
when I hear these things, I think
Yeah.
about just how impactful our environments are to us, and at the cellular level, our consciousness, and
Yes.
we're all familiar with the term a product of your environment, and just how deep that goes, and how in many cases the interferences and the trauma in the space it stunts our growth for the soul that's actually trying to move beyond it. That's something that I've seen where I needed, when I was living with my family, I needed to keep the space clear because I can feel the gravitational pull, not only from them and their behaviors, but my own stuff that I'm working through, and to keep that quieted so that my environment isn't pulling me back in, reaffirming these thoughts that I'm looking to break through. So environments, I agree with you. It's just so imperative, but it feels like such a power move when you're like, I could reinform and shift the architecture of this environment for
It,
exaltation.
this is a move. Property clearing, quantum light property clearing is a move on the cosmic chessboard.
Would you share with them part of the vision? This is in the textbook too, and you've alluded to it, but like the idea of clear as worldwide. Would you share that vision?
The understanding that I developed after my shaman training and after working with many people over a course of time is that the ecology of where their bodies are meant something more than we understood in the third dimension. That your body lays down into a frequency set or into a place, a bed that maybe others have laid in, or that you have cried in, or that you've been sad in, or that you've had negative experiences in, or happiness as well, and that body then is designed in such a way to interact because all things are one thing. So we are one with the environment to whatever degree that makes sense, because it varies from person to person. But you bring a baby in, you put a baby in front of a television set, the walls are informed by what it flickers on the screen, what they hear, what they see, what's happening in the baby's room. Once you start to see that we cannot separate ourselves out from the imprint of the ecology or the spaces and places in which we inhabit, that we inform. Once we have informed the space, or we move into a space that's been there 100 years and been informed by others and nobody's ever cleaned it, and all of the many things that happen there, we are being informed with all of that. Once you have that clarity, and then know that this is how, in this time in history, we live in houses. So now it becomes necessary to find a way to make the houses support humanity instead of contaminate us with what has come before, or in our ignorance, what we put into our own environments. Are we looking at horror movies and informing the walls and the paint? Are we having discussions with the people who live in the space that are ugly and unattractive and linger in the space? Is it possible that we can open a window and that will go away? It is unlikely. you
Yeah,
know,
like that's going to restructure the fabric of time space of
yes.
your.
So the techniques that you learn and the way in which we do quantum light property clearing allows for a reset.
Yes.
So the space is reset now. You may begin again. Talk nice to each other.
Like, go on, be kind, be harmonious, be in exaltation.
Yes. Throw that mattress away. Get a new one.
That's the thing. Maybe next week we can talk a little more about quantum light property clearing and
Sure.
just more so. I think what would land, and you all let us know what your thoughts are on this. The reality of the field, because
Yeah.
I think it escapes us because often when we're looking, it looks like separation in objects. But for those who know, it's like it's all connected. We call it Inlakesh singularity nodal connection, but we are the field. We are the space, and that. But that's the ultimate power, knowing that you're not separate. You would say to us that we we lost power or we fell, so to say, in consciousness when we saw ourselves as separate or something that's greater than us from the power that's within inside. So this I can see where it rectifies that.
And not only it rectifies the space, it rectifies us because we are the space. Whatever is in front of us at some level and degree, we are that. If it is our will to change that, then we all elevate.
I just had a thought how sometimes people are like when we do the call for the truth cards and we're looking at frequencies within the environment and they may say, "Nah, that's so and so. That's not me." It's like, oh, and they'll be able to tell you the whole narrative. It's like, yeah, you breathing it in though. That's you're in there. We're swimming in this soup, and it's not about guilt or shaming. It's just the sheer reality. You often have shared, and this is with the soul clearing process. You would say, it's not for you to feel guilty when you see this report, but you're accountable for you and what you experience. So that's something that just kind of
Well,
got triggered in my mind.
I'll speak to it for a second because it's very often the way that um, people who are assisting others often speak to them from the point of view of not wanting to give them too much truth, just give them a little bit. So they'll say, yes, you are carrying this negative motivator, but it's not yours. It came from your grandmother.
Why is it my lap then? Why is it? Why does grandma's stuff? But I can't do
So
anything about
then they come to us and they say, well, my advisor told me that it was from another lifetime or it was from somebody in my lineage. I'm like, yes, but who has it? Who's wearing that? Are you wearing that outfit? Then it's yours momentarily.
That's funny. I thought of an analogy of we've received the shipment, we've opened it up, we've placed it in our home, or we're wearing it. It's like
We were happy when we saw the
I didn't
truck come.
I didn't buy it though. I did not go on Amazon. I did not put it in the cart, or
Yes,
did
but
we?
it fits you perfectly.
Right? Yeah, that part. And you've been walking around with it on.
You're looking in the mirror like, oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder how they knew my size and the sleeve length is good.
yeah.
Because at the moment you're a match for it, but it's okay. But some of that is really people trying to avoid, we all know when someone doesn't want to hear the truth. Now we're getting to today's topic. We all
Ooh.
know when someone's like, don't tell me that. Don't tell me I'm not wonderful. Don't tell me I'm not great and I'm not doing wonderful. And I'll be angry with you if you don't acknowledge all the things I think about myself. So
It's
then,
giving narcissistic vibes.
so when the person who's of assistance, they can see that and it's like, oh, let's see if I could go above it. Maybe I could go beside it. Maybe I can go, I know it's not yours. You do have it. But it's somebody
What kind of
else's.
cognitive dissonance? Like it's not yours, but you got it.
and,
You're
and you
you're borrowing trauma. You're borrowing someone's negative
and you
imprint.
wear it well. You know?
The shoe is fitting.
Yeah. So this, I often hear those things, but in truth, I must say, if you are wearing it, and if you acknowledge you have it, and if others have identified it, and you are in agreement, it is in truth yours.
All right, so I want to turn to our audience and let them know, for those who are joining us today, we're talking about the power of living in the truth. And of course, with truth, we must look at its contrast, which is lying or this rejection of the truth. And welcome, everyone. We see there's a lot of you in the chat, and we send you in like Heshen Veritas. We acknowledge you all. And as usual, we're going to jump to some questions after we finish this discussion, jump to your comments. And so here we are, speaking about truth. So will you
Yeah.
take us to the beginning of, that's right, that's all we're doing. Anytime we bring Lalata forth, we got to go to the beginning of the idea of, well, yeah, we're talking about truth in general, but the power of living the truth. But where do you want to take us in the beginning with this?
I'd like to start with um, the vehicle you live in. I'd like to start with your relationship with your body and the understanding, because I did not grow up understanding there was even though we are all one, but there are distinctive aspects of consciousness that reside within there. Many levels. Our liver has a consciousness. Our uterus has a consciousness. Our hearts has a consciousness, a brain and a heart. So we have all these different things. And I was not brought up to understand that I was separate from, not separate in a negative way, but a separate consciousness as the consciousness that I ride around in. So, I'm riding around in my, uh, I'm trying to think of a car that would represent me.
What have you've been speaking about? Is it the Range Rover recently?
Well, the idea would be that I'm an analog model.
Of the Range Rover before they installed the reverse backup screen.
Kind of an analog model. So in the analog time of when my model was produced,
Yes.
which is coming to the digital age, I might add,
Yeah.
but that had um, that had a consciousness separate from the body. So I thought I was my body, and I thought that the thoughts that came into my mind were mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily true. The brain is an antenna and a receptor, so we can receive and we can get. And sometimes you're standing in the kitchen and you pick up a thought of your neighbor next door, and you think, oh, that's not my thought. Why is he thinking that? And then you realize, you grow into this understanding that you are touching everything, and that information comes in from many places, and that the body itself was established in truth by divinity. So that means that because it was established in truth, it responds to truth at a level that's different than the thought process that is a receiver and a transmitter, because that's a different mechanism, a different kind of consciousness. So when we speak about the truth, we can speak from the point of view of having the understanding and the gratitude, and being in appreciation of the fact that the body we ride around in was established in truth. So therefore, if we don't override it, it will direct us towards truth. It will continue to make our hearts beat. It will continue to have us breathe. It'll continue to do all the normal things if it's in a normal condition. It will also, if we tell the truth, it will strengthen us. It will grow us, and we will become more of the truth. But as we speak more of the truth and learn more of the truth and become more of the truth, it becomes greater. And the opposite applies as well. Every time we lie, we become less strong, because it's incongruent with the establishment of truth that the body was established in. Every time, we don't like somebody asking us questions, like, I don't like that you're asking me a question, so I'm not going to answer it. Or I'm not going to answer it truthfully.
This just sounds silly, but it's
It
funny.
does sound silly, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Like, why are you asking me these questions? Why are you
Because
asking me where I've been?
and I have
What's
been
for
in that
dinner?
situation where, because information is needed for the next experience, I need information.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in the equation, if you're not going to be in the equation, I'll answer my own questions and move about my own world. But if you're in the equation, then I may need some particulars.
Yes. Give me the data and the metrics so I can.
However, if you feel, and so this is what happens between parents and children, partners, everyone is in varying levels of that. People are saying things to you like, "How you doing?" You know,
I'm good.
and
You
do you
lying. You're
and do
not good.
and do you feel stronger after saying that?
No, it's like, oh, damn, I gotta lie to them because I don't want to tell them because they don't want to hear my drama. So I'm just gonna blanket it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So so every single one of those thoughts, like, I don't want to do it. I'm doing it anyway. I'm not telling the truth. And I have all this, that's like layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of negative.
Yeah. It's
And
like
then
what, 4 levels, layers
yes,
deep of negative
or,
in one micro interaction.
yes. So we want to talk about the fact that when you dedicate yourself to speaking the truth, you can find a way to speak the truth in an elevated way. If you challenge yourself to find the words that make it acceptable to do so without either contaminating your field with negative thoughts about, you're not doing well, so that you can change that, so that you're not resentful that someone spoke to you in a world where there are other people. You weren't born into a world where you live in a cave.
It's like, why are you asking me questions? Why are you asking me how I'm doing today?
Yes.
What's wrong
Yes.
with you?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there is a way to, once you commit yourself to seeing the benefit of telling the truth, that your body becomes stronger, that you become more integritous, that you become more aware of what people say and more responsive to what your response is to what they say. And then you feel the benefit of being stronger for having said it. I mean, there's layers of elevation in this.
So I'd like to take it back just a few things. There was something you mentioned earlier about recognizing our connection to everything, which I just love it because it's like, yeah, you are connected to everything, right? But I want to go back to all the wonderful, glorious benefits of the truth. And you listed several, some of which literal biology in cells get stronger, uh, this idea of integrity, and it seems glorified. It seems like that's the way to be, but clearly people are scared. We have phrases like "you can't handle the truth" or "you ain't ready," and a myriad of different things that speak to people not being able. Oh, or for example, the truth hurts. There's a fear and a resistance, and we're just so willing to be the lie. It's as though we have no awareness of these benefits of truth. What's going on there? Why are we so prone to being the lie?
It is not untrue that people who are not ready for the truth will not be miserable when they hear it.
Yeah.
That's not
Well,
untrue.
I want to share one more thing. I heard this from someone. They said, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. And I love that because there is some contrast within it.
That's why, in part of our practices, the reason that our podcast is called Call for the Truth is to prepare yourself to be ready for the exaltation that you have not been cultivated in, so that you don't have to drop into lower levels when someone says that it is your negative, it's not your grandmother's.
So let me make sure I'm hearing this straight. So are we afraid of the exaltation? Are we like, is there some part of us that's like, I don't want,
On
or I'm
every
not
level.
ready for, well, I see it because what's coming to mind is me facing my own programs. It is ugly. It's like, it shatters how we have, I'm gonna speak for myself, shatters how I have identified and requires me to change. So it's like, it sets me free. It pisses me off first. But then there's elevation.
Well,
Following it.
all of that is true, but there's deeper. There are also
Shall we
deeper.
go deeper? I'm ready.
There are also
Ready.
deeper understandings. Is that if we were to be looking for the truth in everything, it would require us to be more responsible with
I
what
can
we
see
eat,
that.
what we do, who we sleep with, why we did it, what we're drinking, what we're smoking, and how come.
Just go back to that. You connected with everything. The
Yes.
responsibility associated
Like
with that.
if you tell me, that the food, my favorite food, you know, Chick-fil-A has psychotropic drugs in it, and I've been standing outside and getting emails and texting with Chick-fil-A, trying to get that next ordering my burger,
Try,
my fillet of fish, or my whatever they sell, chicken,
yeah,
that's dipped in psychotropic drugs.
yeah.
If and you're like, but I like that, and I tell you the truth about it, you're like, well, never mind that truth. Let's move that out of the way because I really like that. So now you're burdened with the reality, the factual understanding that the thing you want to eat is poisoning you, and now you're confronted with the fact that you don't love yourself enough to keep yourself alive. So there's so many layers to this understanding. Like, I don't want to hear that because then I'm going to have to not drink a 40 ounce. I'm going to have to not smoke the thing I'm smoking. I'm going to have to not eat the Chick-fil-A or the Kentucky Fried, whatever it is.
I'm having this thought. We've heard that phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. It's landing even more. It's like going back to the card pool we mentioned about Diane's call for the truth. Power comes from living an authentic life. And that power is directly correlated with the greater responsibility for your reality. And
Yes.
I see it's like, oh my gosh, in order to real power, not this false sense of power through control and manipulation, but real power is accepting all that you really are in the many different levels.
It's so interesting because it really begins, I mean, it extends out to our wider experience that's tangential to us, but it speaks directly to what do we think of self? Do we think that we should contaminate and be addicted to the things in our world because of the pleasure it brings us in the moment, rather than knowing that we would like to live, die alive, live healthy until we're not? I mean, nobody gets out of this alive, so we're not thinking we're going to stay here forever, but we're thinking that maybe we won't be broken and be in a situation where we linger and cause a lot of unnecessary work to be done for us,
So,
because our choices were to choose the thing that would most contaminate and destroy us because of the flavor of it, without understanding what is the purpose of food. Is the purpose of food for us to become totally enslaved and addicted to what they can put in it? Or is the purpose of food to give us nutrition and light so we can illuminate the darkness?
this is taking me deeper. I think it's taking you all deeper. If it is, say, we're going deep or something to that effect. As I hear you say this, I feel as though allowing ourselves to align, well, let me reiterate it. The more we know who we are, the greater our appetite to be the truth is. Would you say that kind of? Because what I'm hearing is we don't know who we are. So because we don't really understand who and what we are, what the biology is, there's an aversion to truth. But if we did, the truth would be more welcoming. We would be able to embrace it more if we understood what we were created as and our function.
Even if we don't know that, I mean, yes, that's true, but even if we don't know the exactness of it, maybe we don't know exactly who we are, but we know that we're not the worst case scenario.
Well, I mean, ballpark works. If you're at least in the stadium, you might not be on the field, you might not be swinging the bat, but if you're in the bleachers or somewhere,
But if you have been in admiration of the beauty of humanity, if you have seen your own light at some point, and someone has ignited in you an understanding of who you actually are and how valuable that is, then you know that that has been given to your children, and that is represented by the people you have as your friends and your partners. And that then becomes your responsibility to uphold, because what an insult to source for you to contaminate and degrade all that has been given to you by way of life so that you can be handicapped. That you self-impose handicap. And that we look outside of ourselves into the world that we're looking in, and we look at what's happening in the different places in our world, in America and beyond, and we can see that we have done ourselves an injustice. We have not given ourselves the best opportunities through our choices in everything, from our food to our partners to our those who legislate us, to those who heal us, to those who are those who choose to have religious leaders. I won't include myself in that.
Because you're not a religious leader, right? You're
No,
not
it's
over here. Pass the collection plate. Healed.
well,
Driving a Mercedes,
half of
right?
that
It's
anyway.
like quarter. Or here, heal yourself. Figure it out. I'm gonna show you how to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so
Come to an introductory class.
all right, so I got another question for you, and then I want to go to the comments soon. The comments are lit up. We see several of you all saying, "Let's go deeper." Somebody said they got their scuba gear. Someone's like, "I'm triggered. Let's go deeper."
All right.
So
I want
you
to
wrote
say first, just the act of calling for the truth, just the act of saying, I call for the truth 3 times, begins to weaponize you to move all that is not truth away from you. I just want to say that.
like plug for the truth.
Yeah.
I definitely co-sign and agree. Just to speak a little on that, and then I want to ask you a serious question. I can see, due to, again, the context, we live in a world full of lies. Oh, this so beautifully segues into my question. But we live in a world full of lies, so it is necessary to invite truth per the frequency so that we can begin to see through that lens. You know, this is making me think about one of the things that I love over the years about working with Of a Son is this idea of frequency integration. And specifically with In Lakesh is where I really noticed it. And working with those frequency waters, I would see where, oh my gosh, if I incorporate this frequency, it changes my consciousness. If I call something in, if I invite it in, I can begin to change the lens. I don't know if you remember growing up, those little toys with the little,
Yeah, I remember those.
and it changes the film. And it is very akin to that for me, where I can see differently through a different lens, or have another layer that's beneficial. And so I can see what you mean about just calling truth. How, you know, it's as simple as inviting it into your experience. And I think it's like many things, like if you don't ask, you don't get. It's something that doesn't just fall in your lap.
I'd like
It's
to
like
give a
pursuit.
little bit more explanation for that.
Yeah.
If we, because we don't think this way, if we realized that the truth is a creation from source too, it has a consciousness, it is a living energy, it is intelligent, and it is just waiting to be asked. You know, so I don't think it's perceived that way, but correction is the same way, that these are large consciousness that exist in the same way the sun exists or the earth exists. These are living, breathing consciousness that we can interact with because we are one with them. It is not an esoteric idea that's on a philosophical bookshelf in our minds.
That part, because
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes the simplicity of these things, uh, it either goes over our heads or it's dismissed because we think we need the the long ritual based upon the occult esoteric book.
Yeah.
Versus, like, for example, something as simple as decision. I can't tell you how many times I said, use your decision in a consult, in my consults yesterday.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, you could do all this, but have you decided?
Yes. And things like decision has the power to come in and get the support of all of the laws and principles of creation that support your free choice to decide.
Yeah.
You know, so everything works like that, but we have not been taught that. That is essential to understand, so that when you call in the truth, you are confronting the enormous energy of the consciousness of what was created by source that represents truth.
See that part right there? I was having this thought about the listeners because it's shifting me, and you see how close in proximity I am to this knowledge. And I see that oftentimes when we have clarity, our interfacing and engagement with a thing changes. The more becomes available because we have this nuance. And I feel like the understanding, seeing truth or correction in these different larger beneficial ideas or consciousness, which they are as consciousness, because not everyone is viewing truth as a form of consciousness, as part of the intelligent design. That's this larger idea that's ever pervasive. I feel that you may have a different experience, because I saw myself specifically when you said correction. I was like, ooh, like it's this large thing and this invitation of, ooh, correct me, because
Right.
you're already
Yes.
part of me.
Yes.
Like I see with like
Yes.
the functions of my cells and my organs and things like that, that's already just in alignment with being correct.
Every
Let me
bit
get the
of it.
rest of me with that.
When I say the body is established in truth, I mean like your toes know how to be toes and have decided to be toes and will remain toes.
Yeah, they stay. They're
Yeah.
not extending, becoming fingers. Creation, they're in the truth.
Yeah,
They're
and
designed.
and the decision, it is the uh, it is the deepness of the clarity of the, because they are conscious too. So their commitment to the clarity of who and what they are is what we need to see. We were given this, and we have examples like the heart remains the heart. It's going to be the heart
Yeah, every day.
all day
That's all
long.
it knows.
Yeah,
So,
and that's all it wants to know. That's all it's
yeah.
all about. You can't bribe it to go and be a liver.
All I know is thump, thump, thump.
And it's a beautiful
Yes.
lesson for us to see that the trees are like that.
Yes.
They stand, even though they can walk, they stand and give us oxygen and make homes for many other second dimensional creatures. And they stand regardless of whatever else happens. You can come by, you can cut them, you can not cut them. They still will stand next to each other in the clarity that they are here in service to the planet and in service to the humans on the planet that need the oxygen that they produce. The end, period. This is for us to learn. How do we stand in the front of someone and says, well, you don't do that, I'm going to do something to you. And you're like, oh no, don't think that.
Yeah.
Don't do something to me. Don't think about doing something to me. you know, oh, I'll lose if you do that because
Yeah.
I don't have the integrity,
That
the,
part.
the spinal column.
That tree power.
Yeah, that's right.
Trees are a great example
So
of
this
that.
is this idea of being the truth is we literally, in every molecule, every cell, every aspect of us is established in truth, and we can prove it because we still exist without them running around doing anything else. So this is important for us to take and project it outside of ourselves into other arenas.
All right, I'm gonna hold off on my question because
Oh, I talked too long.
dancing ladies shimmying her hands in the air like she cares. She does care about timekeeping. So we're gonna go to a quick commercial break from our sponsors, Aluka Gold, and we'll be back. I want to ask that question. It kind of pertains to the Call for the Truth book, and then go to some of these comments because the chat's lit up.
Okay.
Alrighty, so bear with us about 45 seconds, folks.
If you're a conscious investor looking to make a difference, you need to hear about Aluka Gold. Because doing good and doing well isn't just a dream, it's our promise. Let's face it, everyone wants their money to work harder. But what if your gold investment could do double duty? Aluka Gold is more than just precious metal. We're committed to ethical sourcing and total transparency so you know exactly where your gold comes from, and who it helps. Every ounce you invest helps support real miners and their communities with humanitarian projects and fair wages. That's not just good business, it's good for the world. You get solid, physical gold, plus the pride of knowing your investment brings hope and opportunity to families who need it most. So why settle for ordinary returns when you can spark extraordinary change? Invest with purpose. Invest with Aluka Gold. Do good, do well, and let your gold investment shine brighter than ever.
All right, so again, thank you to our sponsor, Aluka Gold. Over there in Dubai, Chris and Russ, who is always in this chat, unless he's in a business meeting or something. So we thank you and honor you all for supporting us. And for anyone who's interested in wealth investment and management, assets protection, tax mitigation, things of that nature, reach out to them. I'm going to put their information on the screen so you can visit their website. We got a couple of people who've been interested since we've been playing these commercials. They also have an Instagram as well. You can find them on Aluka Inc. as well. So alukainc.com. Again, we send you honor, respect, and gratitude, discipline, integrity, and action. So, with that being said, we are back, and I'm going to share the question, and then we'll go to the chat. So, you wrote your Call for the Truth book in 2021. You would often say, we're in the time of truth. We have since then seen a broadcast through the morphic field of other people speaking the same idea, wanting truth, wanting truth. What are we seeing right now in a world where we have been inundated with lies, but now there's more than ever, more than I've seen in my lifetime, that people want the truth in varying levels of it?
This is galactic. This is a movement, a cosmic movement that has moved us into the space where now truth may be revealed so that we may evolve. We cannot continue with the levels of darkness and anti-life and lies and grow. We can't join the cosmic families of other beings that exist in the universe because we're still in kindergarten, because we're still lying to ourselves about everything.
Hiding things behind our backs.
Like, no, I don't have it.
Like, put your hands down.
No, he did it. I'm going to do something to him because he thought of it first. He invented it first, and I wanted to invent it. So if he invents it, then I will not get the money I need. So I need to stop his invention. So we're still operating like babies. And the reality is that this is being supported, not just on Earth, because we are part of that greater experience as well. So it is not that just what happens on, it's like with the commercials from Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's not like that. What happens on Earth doesn't stay on Earth. What happens on Earth is it's part of the larger idea, and we are being supported in our growth and evolution by the cycles, the yuga cycles that exist as larger movements in the galaxy that position us so that and now that Mother Earth is resuscitating and is gaining her light body as we are gaining our light bodies, the opportunity for growth and to be ready to hear. I think I'm seeing all the time on social media revelations about movie stars, revelations about Diddy, revelations about politicians, revelations about countries, revelations about wars, all of which no one, I don't think, is going, oh, I think they're like, yeah, I knew that. Like everybody, there's constant humor about the things that are not being said, the big elephant in the room, like, yeah, don't invent nothing that runs on water, because we'll never see you again, those kind of things. These are the truths that exist in dark humor in our experience that have existed for hundreds of years. In dark humor, that now here's the time where an evacuation can take place. You can take a laxative, and all of this can be moved out. Now, the only way that we can evolve is if we embrace the idea of replacing the darkness and the lies with the truth. So I am in my right place, calling for truth, and you are too.
Thank you. Very insightful and inspiring. So with that, we'll go to the chats because it's been lit up. And so thank you again for everyone who's tuning in with us here, who has taken the time out of their day to call for the truth with us. I mean, this is a live stream, not the Call for the Truth podcast, but we talk about the truth every time. So I'm going to scroll back a little bit to some of the earlier. And I also want to just give acknowledgement. I'm just going to do a little roll call and acknowledge everybody who's made their presence known in the chat. Inlakesh and Veritas to Stephanie, Russ, Inlakesh Studio One, Diane, Stacy, Terry, Cecilia, Julianne, Michelle, Boypello, Shaka, who else we have? Shelly, Sadell, Sosa, Elijah, Malia, Angela. Who else do we have? All right, and it looks like we just got a couple of repeats. So thank you all for tuning in, and I just kind of want to go to some of the questions and more notable comments. And we got Julianne. She says, "If we live on Mother Earth, isn't the original imprint pure? Calling in the original intention of the land is also helping the property, clearing all the imprints."
I'm not sure I understand. Is this
It sounds like she's in agreement and resonance about
calling
mother.
in the imprint of Mother Earth?
Yeah, it's
Huh.
I guess like a returning back to the original blueprint,
Absolutely.
harmonization. We've
Yes.
drifted from that.
Everything was, so to say, going sideways. You know, um, Mother Earth is just now in recovery of gaining her light body back, which will help shake the fleas off her back, so to say.
Yes, yes. All right.
And allows for the those of us who walk on the back of the mother and those of us who live inside. This allows for us to move into another level of elevation as well as the planet itself resuscitates. And then we are in the time of the solar maximum, which is the idea of Mother Earth and Father Sun. And this all supported that we will gain more power and be able to return back to the original blueprint of humanity.
Yes.
And it is the mother who holds our destiny for this lifetime. So it is relevant to go to Mother Earth and speak directly to the earth because she does hold the information for all the souls who are on her.
Okay. All right. So looks like it's just a lot of being in agreement. A lot of the people who are commenting are just voicing, I'm with you. Whether it's like, for example, I'll read just a handful of these. Like Malia says, knowing the truth comes with accountability.
Yes.
Nichelle said, just had a great aha moment. I see why I am triggered by someone else's behaviors or actions require me to turn inward and do the clearing because I resonated with that.
I'm going to comment on that. Often the truth requires us to address ourselves and what we want. We want someone or a relationship with someone who is not the truth, and we are growing and moving closer and closer to the truth, and then we're triggered when we notice the difference between, the distance between their levels of truth and our growing levels of truth, and then we have to decide, are we going to be compatible with their dissonance with the truth? Are we going to allow that to go and get the next thing that comes to us from our new levels of elevation? Or do we need to hold on to it like, no, I need to keep you, but I want to make you be the truth for me. But I know you don't really want to be the truth, but I want to make you be the truth. I'm going to fuss at you and nag you and pursue you, but that's really not the way.
This feels very universal.
Yes. The way is make yourself so much the truth that you don't want the lie. And then the person may choose not to be the lie, or they may choose not to be around.
I want to speak a little bit about that. I've seen this idea of when we make the change and release the grip of control, in certain cases, if there's some part of them that's willing, they end up changing.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful thing because I have also seen where it's as though the control has really kept them in that same space or prevented them. And sometimes it also deals with being the dominant frequency or the influence and recognizing that, like, you know what, I'm just going to do me. And that's all right. You do what you do. And then they see, oh, she or he is just doing them. Maybe I ought to get on board with that. And, it's this freedom that comes with it. And it's not that happens in every situation,
No, it
but
doesn't.
it is something very powerful and I think eye-opening that helps us see the influence on our other selves.
And also the idea of someone tells a lie, they tell a lie, they tell a lie, they tell a lie, they're telling other people, they want everybody to believe the lie, and then they end up a victim of their own lies. Then they start believing their own lies, and now they're deluded by their own illusion. And so they're caught in this insane web of their own creation that keeps them constantly looking outside of themselves to change the reality of something or someone else. That's a prison that they put themselves in because they're obsessed with someone else believing the lie. So, for whatever their benefit is. And that's unfortunate because the first law is self-preservation. You preserve yourself, others will be preserved as well. If you choose to, like, I'm going to hold on to this lie because he's just the best looking lie I ever saw. I want to keep this lie because this lie dresses real nice,
Yeah.
or it's very generous. But that will not serve you. That's temporary. That's only a momentary delusion that then envelops you and starts to devour you. Don't let the beast eat you.
Yeah.
Go for the truth. And then sometimes those who want the truth will circle back around and say, you know what? You're the truth. I really want the truth. And that's the glory.
Yeah.
And it's not for everybody. It doesn't happen in every situation.
I've been seeing in recent times that there's this reality that not everyone wants the light, so to say, or the truth. And I think it's so important to be okay with that, to be accepting of the person's choice. And like, as I like to say, I got this from you. How's that working for you? See how far you can get with that,
Yeah.
and being in the law and respect to and it's also, for me, it's been an ego check, you can't, and the angels have even told us this, like, we trying to force the law upon everybody. I mean, uphold it, but like, you can't make them live the law.
If I had not already lived a life where I stayed too long at the party that I should have left, I would not be so clear.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking from fabrication. I have experienced enough things to know that when you see all the signs that say it's not in your support, start backing out of the
That's
room.
right. No, I'm in the wrong environment. Excuse me. My room down the hall. There's somebody pointing me in the direction of truth one-on-one. And step into lies.
Because it's very self-punishing and self-sabotage to
Yeah.
go against your own values, your own morals, and your own understandings. It is more likely that the integrity that is represented by the concept and the construct and the consciousness that is truth will support everyone who wants it. Where, that lie is kind of a house of cards.
Yeah. Don't hold up too well.
Yeah, you bump the table. Breathe too
Like,
hard.
damn, why you tell me my lie? What time is it right now? It's just a little after 1. I just want to double check in some of these comments here. We got a couple of things to acknowledge. Let's see here. We're scrolling back up. Bear with us just a moment, everyone. And so we have Shaka says, say that Lauta. Spiritual truths focus on the non-physical,
Yeah.
such as the soul, the divine, and ultimate reality, rather than observable and measurable functions.
Yes.
If this was church, Shaka would be like hands in the air, throwing up. Like, Angela says, love the conversation. To really grow in this understanding, where do I begin? Which class would be the foundation?
The first thing we would recommend is that you possibly read the book, if you'd like to read the book, Call for the Truth. It was written in the time of COVID, and I wrote it in response to what was taking place in the world, of where many people were giving over their authority to those who they thought were greater. And so the book is a response to that. It's a small book. However, taking a calibration class or taking energy hygiene class will bring you in direct, face-to-face understanding of you and what you actually think. Like, you'll be confronted with, I was thinking this, and this is what's being presented. Now you have the opportunity to examine it and make choices. Everything about Of the Sun is to direct you to you. Every class we teach, everything we do, every practice that you go on the website that you can get for free, every morning practice, every evening practice, everything about the divine feminine, everything about the divine masculine, about truth, everything is directed for you to get with you, because you are the solution to all of this. It is the you of us together that will change this world. You are encouraged to take any of the introductory classes, even the idea of the truth water, the frequency water for truth, the idea of reading the book or listening to the podcast. Go through the podcast. If you're not ready to take a class, just listen to the free
I
podcast.
want to speak on that. I had a client yesterday who had taken 5 or 6 classes, but never the energy clearing protocol of doing advanced soul clearings. And she shared with me, I finally decided. And she's like, I've been waiting, I've been feeling the nudge. And I even went all the way back into the archive videos to watch about soul clearing topics. And I was actually astonished. I was like, ooh, you're going to the archive. That's good to hear. So, there is a lot of value and wealth in there if you want to explore that. That's really all I have to say on that.
There's so much that can be done from where you are. If you want to start in this moment and don't need to do anything outside of yourself, go to www.ofthesun.com and start reading. Read what every product does. You will be educated. You will be made greater. You will be expanded. And there's so much available that we'd love to have you take a class, read the book, buy the products. It's not absolutely necessary, but there's a buffet of things for you to do. Wherever you are, you can begin where you are.
So I'm getting from my guidance, we can start wrapping this up. And again, I want to thank everybody for their participation. Just as a little recap for, and this kind of speaks to the last question that we received. Energy Hygiene 101 class is starting up. That's a great introduction. Understanding laws and principles, how to adopt an energy hygiene lifestyle, calling forth the truth. See that same call for the truth at the beginning of our podcast, call to see the truth, speak the truth, hear the truth in all things. That's energy hygiene, inviting that regularly and understanding the greater context. That's coming up second week, next week, Wednesday, is when it kicks off. Another thing, light body movement next week, or this upcoming Sunday.
Right.
We're diving into the throat chakra. And look, if there's anyone who's been pacing with us on these live streams and watching the podcast, perusing through the website, looking over the fence, like what they doing over there, and you want to jump into light body, jump in, splash. The water's warm because it's light. And you'll have not only access to the current recordings and live sessions, but you'll have access to the archive of the previous classes with the meditation activations, the class documents as well, and of course pre-recordings, or not pre-recordings, the recordings of those classes, so you can play catch up as well. So nothing is lost, everything's available, and looking forward to this Sunday.
And you can return to your original biophotonic blueprint as we have. You can become light, which is your destiny and how you originated.
It's a game changer. It's like you begin to see everything differently.
Yes.
And it's funny because sometimes I have these moments and I'm like, Lauta, this is what I experienced. She's like, yes. And I'm like, oh, my bad. You've been here already. It's like, she's like, welcome. Now you see. It's funny, but I mean, we're doing it. And the more in my process, it's funny because, quantum light, but as we have been doing light body, it has expanded my capacity to clear as a property clearer for clients, etc.
Yes.
And even the idea of securing my expanded reality, which looks like the neighborhoods, etc., or clearing family members and friends, homes, well, not friends, but taking care of people who require taking care of. And it's the path is really embodying the light. So.
It really is. So we thank all of you for being here with us, and we hope that we'll see you again next week at the same time in the same place. We give you the greetings of Inlakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Thank you.